wrestling fans? Welcome back from the holiday break because it's the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm your host, Joe the Panther, the hip, the Mr. Old School himself, Joe the Panther the third. And man, what a break. I got my tan on. I was by the pool with my sassy sister. We were just chilling out, and then I got a buzz on the Dudes at Ringside phone that I have an awesome guest today, this morning. Introduce yourself.
I am Relentless Ryless Rose, and I am a professional wrestler who's based out of Edmonton, Alberta.
Wow. Awesome. That's so awesome. So, Miss Rose, who trains you?
So my trainers are Harlan Abbott. He's formerly known as Heavy Metal, and God's Gift to Wrestling, Michael Richard Blaze.
Oh wow. Wow. So what is some of the words of wisdom that he gives you that you tossed into your character, your wrestling stuff that you're doing?
He's given so much helpful advice. It's hard to narrow it down to one specific thing. Because if you're having trouble grasping a topic or you're having trouble grasping something, then he'll use multiple analogies to help you understand that. And he's so full of knowledge and wisdom of the wrestling industry that there's just so much that it's hard to narrow it down to one specific thing.
Wow. So, what was your energy like going to your very first match?
Oh, I remember going to my very first match. In fact, my very first match was June 23rd. So I've been doing this for about a year now. And I remember it as if it was yesterday. I was super pumped with adrenaline. I was excited, but I was also incredibly nervous because this would be my first time performing in front of a live audience, especially in front of such an amazing production that they've set up. So I was just amped up. I was amped up on the energy of the crowd. I was amped up on the energy of finally being able to make my debut. It was so full of adrenaline. I was just like chomping at the bit to get into the ring to make my debut.
Oh wow. So is there any other place in the part of Canada or in the world that you would like to travel to that you haven't been to yet?
I would absolutely love to travel to like the UK, Japan, or even like Mexico as well to amp up my wrestling career. Those are the primary three places that I would absolutely love to go because their wrestling is different, especially with Japan and Mexico. You look at their wrestlers and they're on another level. Their fundamentals are different, but they're also so unique. And I think going there and learning some of those things or even working some of the people, I could kind of broaden my scope in the near future.
Mm. So in your young career, how many title belts have you won so far?
I have won 2 belts thus far.
Ooh. Do you have them with you today?
I have them in the other room, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't want to have you jump up and run back and then I'm like forgets or someone calls her for like a snack or take a selfie and then I'm like the timer's just going and I'm just like I'm gonna wait. I'll just edit it. So let's talk about your school that you want to talk about.
Well, do you mean as in training or?
Yeah, I think it's the place you were talking about before we were recording. That place is whatever you said you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, so Top Talent Wrestling Academy. I started out there in August of 2020, and the coaches they are so professional. They're amazing at what they do, and I've been there since the start of my wrestling journey in professional wrestling aspect. Um, and then, of course, there was the COVID shutdowns, and there was a bunch of bullshit things going on in the world. So it hasn't been a consecutive 2.5 years, but I've been there for quite a long time.
Wow. Like, it's something that, like, most people went in to train, and after COVID hit, they quit. That you stayed on that horse and you just kept riding, and you're still going. And, like, I just think that, like, that's awesome that you're, like, young in this wrestling game. Like, have you bumped into any other older wrestlers that you've traveled, like, been in shows with from Canada since you came back from the COVID, shutdown that you've, like, got a chance to speak to and, like, ask them for any advice? Like, has any of them, like,
I've
told you?
seen a couple of them, yeah. So a couple of other wrestlers, local wrestlers from the area, they would pop by into Top Talent every once in a while. And then when COVID started shutting things down, more so than before, I wasn't really able to see them. And recently now, especially since I've made my debut, I've been able to share locker rooms with them, even if it's just once. And it's amazing to see them again because um, they're part of the wrestling family.
Yes, of course. So, do you prefer wrestling men or women or both?
Um, I prefer wrestling women, but I don't mind wrestling men. It's really dependent on the kind of scenario, but it can be a lot of fun either way. I mean, I've had both good and bad experiences, and I will have more of those.
Yeah.
There will be great matches, and there will be ones that I evidently need to work on. And you'll only know by broadening scope.
Mhm. So here comes the fun questions. Do you collect anything? And if you do, what do you collect?
I collect so many things. I am like a big ball of nerd stuff. I absolutely love like DC, Marvel, Harry Potter. I have so many WWE Funkos and collectible cards. I have this binder that's this thick of collector cards that I initially started collecting before I got into training.
Ooh.
I also have a lot of Funko Pops in other areas too, like Marvel, DC, Harry Potter. I have figurines as well. I I just love collecting things, especially things that um, I'm really interested in.
Ooh. So what was your what is it's like picking your favorite child. Which is your favorite pop that you've ever collected?
Oh no, you can't do this to me. I have so many of them.
How many
Um,
exactly? How many?
I don't know exactly, but I have to say like probably over 40.
Wow.
I've I've lost
Living on a
track.
wall, or they just stacked up against your wall?
I used to have them stacked up against my wall, but that's when I had wall shelves. Um, but now they're kind of dispersed everywhere. I have some in my room, and I have some that's outside of my room near this little area in the corner. I have a lot of them, so it's hard to just kind of put them all into one big grand display, which I wish I could do.
Mm. Get one of those boxes like the celebrities have for, like, outfits. You put get one of those big box, like, the display boxes, those boxes you get from, like,
Yeah.
Michaels or AC Moore, and you just stack them in every room and have them, like, positioned in certain places, like, if you had, like, all Marvel ones, stick them in a room that's related to all Marvel, and then have another room that's related to, like, all DC, and then you have room related just to WWE, sticking all the WWE ones in there, and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I would absolutely do that. Honestly, I am such a big collector of things that they probably deserve their own room at some point.
You're like the Thanos of pop I guess you're like the Thanos of pop collectors.
Yeah, it's
You're like,
yeah, essentially just I want it.
So when you're on your travels with your wrestling shows, what is your favorite go-to food when you're done with a show?
Whew, my favorite go-to food when I'm done with a show. Typically I do like to bring meal prep if possible, but if not, then I love Subway.
Okay.
It's an easy way to get in protein if I need it because I also do count that stuff for my physical fitness. But I have to say, Subway.
Hmm.
Love Subway so much.
It's so sad to say this, Riley. The wrestlers that like the American wrestlers I talk to, I ask them that question and they all have a sad response. It's like they add the little violin at the end of it. There's nothing open when we're leaving. They can't have any food. It's like the sad
Yeah,
old
and
nothing's open. It's all you see is the Hulk sad hitchhiking out. You could add that give in the corner of Hulk hitchhiking. The sad, I have no food, and then you see the refrigerator of the house going, "You dirty bastard! You know there's food in
yeah,
here."
it's very unfortunate because you have to come prepared most of the time for food because it's either there's nothing closed, there's nothing open, or you got to get it beforehand. So that's why I typically like to bring my own meal prep. But on the rare occasion where I don't have time or something like that, I'll pick up Subway beforehand
Yeah.
and then I'll have it for afterward.
So here we go. This is a Subway question for you. What is your go-to Subway sandwich?
Okay, I've been waiting for this one. So my first time going to Subway, I wasn't used to the whole layout of you get to pick everything out. So I started going with the flow and I went with a chicken wrap. And I register it as a chicken Caesar wrap. I get double chicken, some bacon, cheddar, lettuce, green pepper, and ranch.
Hmm.
And then I get it grilled. And the ranch is actually really good. I've had people like my mom or some family members or even some people at my school where I've given that order to them and they become obsessed with it. It's such an unassuming order because of the ranch in it, but it's so good.
Think I may have to like try that. So can I get the Relentless Riley Rose? Be like, what the heck is that? You don't know who she is? Jeez, here's my phone. Just watch these videos. Just shut up. These are like it's funny. Like you just started. I like I just like I booked with you and stuff like that. And then the one video I see is the one that you were telling me that I have to talk to someone if I wanted to load the video. And I was like, she's awesome. I'm saying this now. If you want to come to the States, I know plenty of wrestling promotions from Pennsylvania that would book you in a heartbeat.
Really?
Yeah, there's a promotion. Put this in your little book or on your phone when you're done talking to me. PPW. That's all I'm gonna say. PPW doesn't have many women, but they do have some women that come in. Look this name up when you're done with me. Danny Moe. Danny Moe, the
Okay.
Neon Nightmare. She has like blonde hair with like different colors in it. Her husband name is Fasad. Fasad. He's like a high flyer. He like jumps around and stuff like that. Um, oh my gosh, there's a lot of. There's a woman that wrestles in California, and she's like out of like tour. She wrestles in a lot of the lucha wrestling promotions in California called Charisma. She's another one that you and her would be like, oh, such a good match.
And they would be an excellent learning experience as well. I always look forward to learning new things from my matches as
You would
well.
love Charisma because she looks like a living anime character. Her uniform, no, her costume looks like Sailor Moon.
Really?
Yes, look her up when you're done. We're done.
Okay, that
Charisma.
sounds awesome.
She's such a sweetheart. She's always smiley, happy. So when you type her in Charisma, when you message her, it's like, "Hey, Joe Panther the Third told me to talk to you." And if she says, "Oh God, Joe, what did he say?" He just says you made him you make him happy. You're such a sweetheart, and you and her would be a good match. Like that's
Shout
all.
out to Charisma.
Yes, Charisma. If you're watching this episode, you're the best. We love you on Ringside. Yeah. So is there like any shows or anything that is coming up for you?
Actually, yes, there are two pretty big ones right now. The most recent one that is coming up is MexiFest, which is occurring during Stampede Week in Alberta, and it's from the 7th to the 9th, and it includes some Canadian talent with a mix of luchadors from Mexico. And I'm super looking forward to working with some luchadors because I haven't worked an actual luchador before. So
Wow.
I'll be able to kind of learn the fundamentals and how I can work with them, considering that there's such a difference in the way we work our matches compared from North America to Mexico.
Yeah.
And then the second one is Wrestle Academy in August for the semifinals.
Hmm. Actually, another thing about Charisma, her husband is a luchador.
Woo! Really?
Oh my gosh, her husband has the coolest luchador mask. My grandfather's a wrestler, and my big favorite wrestler is Rey Mysterio. So like, from my grandfather's mask is always number one to me. Rey Mysterio is number two, and Ellie. Oh god, he's gonna get. I could see him going. Joe did it again. He forgot my name. Well, this case, his character's a bird character. His mask looks like a bird. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
His mask is so he has different colors. Like Rey Mysterio's mask has like this. He's like blue. He has red. I was like, oh, he came out with the blue one when he came on the podcast for her birthday. So yeah.
That
And
sounds really cool, actually.
ooh, do you have this in your collection by chance?
No, but I actually have the Funko Pop of that one.
They sell them now. They have pop pins.
Yeah, I noticed pop pins have started becoming a thing recently. But I'm more
I'm
of a
taking
Funko
at it.
Pop kind of gal.
I'm not gonna take the pin out of the box. I like pins, but I'm like that's Ultimate Warrior, and I don't need that getting scratched. Like,
Yeah, I don't like taking my collectibles out of their boxes
yeah.
because I don't want to risk them losing their value. I
Mm.
do have a lot of WWE ones. Every single
I
WWE one that I have, I've kept in the box.
do you have Ted DiBiase yet?
Yes,
Which one? Because there's like I think there's two or three of them.
I have. I don't know, but I don't have the Chase version of him because I know there's a Chase
I
where
have
it's.
the Amazon. What is it? Amazon? No, it's I forgot which one. It's the one that DiBiase has the belt on his shoulder and he's like this.
Oh yeah.
I have the one he had the belt. It was for my birthday. I was gonna get the one that he's had his hand out and he had the money in the hand.
Oh, that one's cool.
Almost
I think
got that one and I'm like,
I think I might have the money in the hand one.
there was one I wanted. He had the $1 million belt around his waist. And then I never saw that one again. It disappeared. I'm like,
That's the one thing with Funko Pops is that if you don't get them when you see it and you don't follow your gut instinct of, I don't think I'm gonna get it, you're gonna miss out on it.
yeah, I was at one of those wrestling stores that they have the autograph signings at. They had him there, and I was like, they had like a stack of them, and I was like, nah, I don't want to waste $20 on that. And I was traveling home that day, and I was like, I shouldn't do it, and I didn't do it, and I messed up. So,
Yeah.
um, my last question for you, Riley, if there's a young wrestling fan that is watching this or listening to this podcast and they want to become a professional wrestler and they don't know where to turn, what kind of advice would you give them?
If you want to become a professional wrestler and you do not know where to turn, especially being a female trying to go into the industry, I recommend definitely talking it through with parents and local wrestling promotions because how I started training with Top Talent was I asked a local promotion, I asked the promoter if there were any kind of wrestling schools nearby. And he referenced me to Top Talent, and I was able to email the owner. And I wouldn't be here today if I didn't actually reach out to the promoter initially. And I will have to say that like getting into professional wrestling, it will be scary. It's completely different from what you would normally do in like soccer or basketball or the normal sports for young individuals. what you just got to do is that there will be mental hurdles, there will be mental challenges. You just got to really push through it because it's mind over matter. And the payoff will be worth it because you'll start seeing how you're developing and you'll have so much time to fix things and to get better as a wrestler. And you just got to have fun with it because, I mean, you know, young people, you don't really see that many young people in wrestling. So it's good to really push it. If you want it bad, rely on your discipline to get through it because it will be worth it in the end. And I honestly would never expect for me to become this far so far. And it's been approximately a year, as I mentioned earlier. I never would have assumed that I would be wrestling for MexiFest or for Wrestle Academy. And I'm super honored to be a part of those events, especially Wrestle Academy, because the grand prize is so huge. You know, you get $10,000 and a scholarship to train at the Nightmare Factory in Atlanta. So another part of my advice would, things are going to move fast at some point. You just got to persevere through it and have fun with it because it is truly a blast.
Awesome. If any of our fans before you go would like to follow you on any of your social medias, where can they find you?
They can just find me at Relentless Riley on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook.
All right. Thank you so much, Riley, for choosing Dudes at Ringside. I'm Joe Panther III.
I'm Relentless Ryless Rose.
And we will catch you in the next one. Good night, everybody.
Good night.